Welcome back, artists. We have been exploring our unit, looking at our world. We have studied our hand through sketches. We have drawn a figure in proportion. We've studied the artist Jean-Michel Basquiat and created portrait inspired by him. And today we're going to talk about gesture drawing. Now, gesture drawing is when we use loose lines to create our pictures. So you can see the two circles that I have on this slide. One has very fine, clean lines, and the other is drawn with more dynamic lines. So the circle that is drawn with the dynamic lines appears to have more movement to it. Gesture drawing is when we use quick, loose lines to draw the human figure or our subject. And when we use these quick, loose lines, we can capture more lifelike images. So your studio activity for today is to make 4 or more gesture drawings. Ask someone to pose for you or find pictures of people to look at while you draw. An added challenge for those artists who are looking for something a little more difficult is choose one of the gesture drawings that you create and add details to it to make a finished drawing. Here is my demonstration of how to get started. So again, if we were in the classroom, I'd probably have you guys pose for each other as models. But since we are at home, for my gesture drawings, I'm going to be using some pictures of my family members, and maybe I'll even look up a picture or two on the internet. So this is a picture of my son posing on a trip this summer that we took up to northern Minnesota. But I've started with my basic shapes. I'm working really quickly, and I'm just focused on getting the pose correct. I'm thinking about where each line or shape goes to complete the whole body. Remember, dynamic lines or gesture lines are quick, you're working fast, and you're trying to capture the pose of your model. For my next gesture drawing, I'm going to be drawing this picture of my daughter doing another pretty standstill pose, but I'm using dynamic lines, quick, loose lines. I'm not getting stuck on all the details. I really just want to get the pose right. When doing gesture drawing, think about where the bones are, where the joints are, where each body part is, and use a shape to represent that body part. For my next drawing, I wanted a pose that was more in the middle of an action. So here I found a picture of a ballerina, Misty Copeland, and I am starting again with these basic shapes. I usually start with the head, and with a figure that's in action, I think about where her spine is, where that line that goes through her body starts, and that's where I try to capture the action. When you're gesture drawing, you might feel like you're drawing a stick person to start with, but you want to add those shapes around those lines that make it seem more like your person or your figure has mass. Finally, for my last gesture drawing, I found this picture of a soccer player who is in mid-air. Again, starting with that round shape for the head, then thinking about where that line for their spine is, creating shapes for each body part that kind of holds all the other body parts together, and then thinking about overlapping as well. Which leg is on top of or overlapping the other leg? Again, for those of you who are looking for an added challenge, take one of these figures and add details to them to make it look like a finished drawing. You may most likely need to erase some of the lines as well, just to get a nice clean look, and then add those details and color it in, and then share with me what you've completed on Seesaw.